Hello everyone, today we're going to Toledo to interview a professional tourist guide, Adolfo Ferrero. Adolfo is 41, born in Madrid. He has studied 2 degrees, tourism and history of art. He has traveled around the world and has worked in many European countries and in several places of Spain. So let's meet him. How is usually a regular day in your job?
Well, I normally get up in the morning, not really early, but I started working at 10 o'clock and I usually do a visit in the morning and another one in the afternoon. And during the weekends, I normally work 3 times in a day.
How is being constantly in touch with people?
Well, for me, it's great because I've been always working in touch with people. And here in Toledo is almost the same as I've been doing during my intern job in Europe, and I love it, being in touch with people. The relationship between me and the rest of the people that visit Toledo with me on my visits is really close, so I love this kind of job.
Does it feel like a routine doing always the same thing, or is it still something new to discover?
Well, in fact, for me it's not a routine. I've been working as a tourist guide here in Toledo for the last 5 years, and by the moment for me it's not a routine because I feel like being with, I feel like showing a different city every day. So 2 different people, they need different things on different aspects from the city, or I need to show them. I feel like showing them different aspects of the city. So for me it's like a game. I'm always playing with them. I'm always trying to know, to feel what they want to get, and for me it's very interesting to try to know what they want to know about the city.
Do you work for an agency? Are you a freelance or anything different?
I think I do freelance. I work for different travel agencies, and anybody who needs to visit the city. And most of the time for different travel agencies in Spain or in Europe.
You have studied tourism and history of art too. We want to know what you decided to study this 2nd degree and how does it affect to your daily job?
Well, I decided to study history of art when I started working as a travel guide in Europe. So I thought, because I had a lot of time during winter time, so I decided to improve my knowledge about art, and I thought it would be a good idea to know a little bit more of art for my job. And after being working as a travel guide in Europe for 13 years, I decided to settle down in a fixed place. And I thought that Toledo was a very good place. It's a very touristic city, and I thought it would be a good place to establish and settle down. And I think my studies in history of art has been basic. I think there's nothing more important for a travel guide or for a tourist guide than having a very good knowledge in history of art, to explain everybody what they are visiting in such an important place as Toledo.
There are some new regulations affecting the tourist rights. What do you think about them?
Well, by the moment, those regulations doesn't affect the city of Toledo and the community. But I've heard that in Madrid everything has changed some years ago. Anybody can work in Madrid as a tourist guide or a travel guide. As a tourist guide, walking tour guide. But here in Toledo, regulation have not changed. We have to wait for the next year to come and wait for the new regulations. But at the moment, you cannot walk in Toledo if you don't have the permission, the government permission to walk in the city as a tourist guide. And I think it's the best thing to do, because at least you've got the knowledge to show the city in a good way. think everybody that works in a city as a city guide have to know the city, have to have the knowledge to explain every aspect of the city.
You have worked in another cities. What have you learned and what are the cultural differences you have faced?
Well, I think the most important thing I have ever learned during the time I've been working or traveling around Europe is that people are different, and what you think while living in your own country is not the only way to see our world. And there are different aspects of seeing this, our reality, our life, our culture. And I think that's the most important thing I've ever learned, traveling around Europe and traveling around the world, and the other points of view there, and that we are not the only ones, and our point of view is not only the one, but difference. There is a difference in outside our world.
Apart of the historic view of the city, what would you highlight of Toledo?
There is not many things to do here in Toledo apart of this historical view or historical aspect of the city. The cultural point of view of Toledo is not very important, but it's a very quiet city. I'm from Madrid and I've been living in Madrid. I lived in Madrid years ago, but I don't live those kind of cities, crowded, everybody's in a hurry, and I love this kind of cities.
If you had to choose another city to live in, which would it be?
If I had to choose another place to live, I would choose a place in the south of Spain. I love Seville, for example. Sevilla is a beautiful place. It's a quieter place than Madrid. I was living in Granada for 2 years and a half, and I would have stayed there, but I had the chance to pass my exams to become guide of Toledo, and I changed my mind and I came to Toledo to live and work here. But Granada, for example, is a beautiful place to live. Seville or Cordoba or any place in the south of Spain.
After having worked during 14 years as a tourist guide, which moment would you remark?
Well, I think that the most important and special moment I had here in the city happened 2 years ago when I was doing a walking tour with a Turkish group from Istanbul. And among the group there was a lady, and she asked me something in Spanish. I thought she was a Spaniard or a Spanish woman inside the Turkish group, but in fact she was a Turkish woman. But she was a Sephardis, and Sephardis were expelled from Spain 500 years ago, and they still speak Spanish. So it was a special moment for me because Spain for them is still their country, and they come to visit their ancient country from where they were expelled 500 years ago. And for me, during the last 500 years, it has been the most important, special, and being in touch and talk to a Sephardi. It was great and very sensitive moment.
So, we have had a great day in Toledo. We hope you have enjoyed as much as we have discovering the professional life of Adolfo, a tourist guide.